The transmission crackled through the void of space, reaching Earth's listening stations at 14:32 GMT on a Tuesday that would forever divide human history into before and after. Commander Sarah Chen stood frozen in the communications bay of Luna Station, her coffee growing cold as the alien voice continued its methodical recitation. The human settlement on Kepler 442b has been liquidated as per Dominion Protocol 7 Alpha. All 847 colonists have been processed for biological study. Their genetic material will prove useful for our ongoing research into inferior species adaptation mechanisms. The voice was clinical, almost bored, as if discussing livestock rather than the hopes and dreams of nearly 1,000 souls who had traveled 37 light-years to build a new home among the stars. Chen's hands trembled as she reached for the emergency alert button, but she couldn't look away from the data scrolling across her screens. The broadcast wasn't meant for human ears. The hegemony of Kethvar had been transmitting routine administrative updates to their research stations, unaware that humanity had developed quantum fold communication interceptors. For 3 years, Earth's xenolinguistics teams had been quietly decoding their transmissions, learning about galactic civilization from the shadows. But this changed everything. Dr. James Reginald, Earth's leading expert on alien communications, burst through the station's airlock 48 hours later, his usually composed demeanor replaced by something darker. He had spent 2 sleepless days analyzing the full transmission archives, and what he discovered had shattered any illusions about humanity's place in the cosmos. "They've been at this for millennia," he told the Emergency Council, his voice hollow. 17 different species, all marked as primitive test subjects. The Andromedans who went silent 6 months ago? They were harvested. The radio signals from the Vega system that suddenly stopped? Harvested. We're not the first, and we won't be the last. The room fell silent except for the hum of life support systems. General Marcus Webb, a veteran of 3 colonial wars, leaned forward with steel in his eyes. "How many ships do they have in our sector?" According to their logistics reports, a single research vessel, the ISV Kethmaran. They consider us so primitive that 1 ship is sufficient for specimen collection. Webb's laugh was devoid of humor. 1 ship. He stood, his chair scraping against the floor. They think 1 ship is enough for humanity. The hegemony had made their calculations based on standard xenobiological models. Most species, upon achieving rudimentary space travel, focused on exploration and peaceful expansion. They developed technology slowly, methodically, with careful consideration for ethics and long-term consequences. Humanity had taken a different path. Within 6 months, every weapons manufacturer on Earth and her colonies had retooled their production lines. The same species that had perfected warfare across millennia of conflict now turned their collective fury toward the stars. Kinetic bombardment platforms that could crack continents, fusion torpedoes that burned like miniature suns, swarm drones programmed with tactical algorithms written by mankind's greatest military minds. But it wasn't just the weapons that set humanity apart, it was the rage that drove them. When the ISV Kethmaran dropped out of hyperspace near Jupiter, expecting to find a cowering primitive world, they instead found a fleet of 200 vessels waiting in perfect formation. Admiral Chen, promoted from her communications post, stood on the bridge of the UES Retribution and opened a channel to the alien ship. "This is Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Earth Navy," she said, her voice carrying across the void with calm, terrifying certainty. "You have 15 seconds to surrender, or we will demonstrate why natural selection made humans the apex predator of our world." The hegemony's response was predictable: a demand for submission, threats of orbital bombardment, and confused queries about humanity's impossible technological advancement. Chen never bothered to respond. She simply gave the order that had been waiting on her lips for 6 months. All ships, weapons free. Show them what happens when you threaten Earth's children. The battle lasted 14 minutes. When it ended, the ISV Kethmaron was nothing but expanding debris, and humanity had announced itself to the galaxy not as prey, but as something far more dangerous. Protectors with nothing left to lose.